Her name is Jalade, and now we're going to be inviting Jalade. She's been one of the people that are in the forefront in the protests here in France, and we'll be asking her a couple of questions. Thank you. All right. So quickly, we've been talking about NSAS. All the people that come, they talked about what the problem is. I want you to tell me beyond this NSAS, what is really the problem we have with our country? I mean, talk about what else we should be fighting for. What is our right? What are we trying to do here?
Okay, I think at the crux of everything is bad governance, and I don't think any Nigerian of any generation, of older generation, of our present generation, and the generation, who are really young right now, I do not think that they don't understand that the real problem here is bad governance. From the federal level to state level to local level, everything is in shambles, right? So I think I think we're coming to a time of a revolution basically, where everyone is saying it's not just end SARS, because the reason why police is misusing their power is because things are not right in the country in every strata of leadership, basically. So I think for the first time in our own generation, in these present times, we are coming out to say specifically to the government in very clear terms that we are not happy with our governance at all. Everything is in shambles, basically.
Okay, so I have two questions for you. The first one is this: you talked about the government and how everything, we have a problem on every single level, federal, state. Do you think that it's also because they don't understand the basic human rights of a Nigerian? They don't understand that power was given to them and not for them. So do you mind to talk more about that? Would you like to talk?
Yeah, right now we have a president who has an antecedent as a military head of state of the country. When he contested elections as a civilian, we were made to believe that the old order had passed, and it was pretty clear that we are in a democracy. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case. We noticed that in the present administration, people are afraid to talk. People are afraid to criticize the government. People are afraid to say things as they are. And even our government officials, you see governors and ministers talking to the president with so much fear or even reverence, even in the way that they approach the man. And I don't think it's clear to the present government that we are in a democracy. It is not clear to the present government that we are in 2020. In fact, it's not even clear to them the generation that they are dealing with, basically. And they keep addressing us as leaders of tomorrow. Tomorrow is already today. Tomorrow is right now. We are the leaders of now. And in every level of government, the input of young people, when I say young people, I'm saying people from 18, 12, 10, because a 10-year-old girl was killed in Nigeria. A child was killed, and there hasn't been a single word from the president of this country. So when we are talking about the fact that we are in a democracy, that we need a government that is responsive to its people, a government that is aware that the power is in the hands of the people, a government that is aware of its responsibilities. Not as a parent. We did not vote for you to be a parent over the country. We voted for you to be a servant leader in the service of the people. So we are not the children of the governor. We are not the children of the governors. We are not the children of the president or of ministers. We are the electorate of this country. And we are saying, serve the country as you ought to. Serve the country according to the constitution. Serve the country according to the laws that bind us and that we have signed to according to the United Nations. Serve the country as you ought to. Nothing more than that, basically.
Okay, something interesting that you talked about was about the youths of today, not the leaders of today, not the leaders of tomorrow. Now, what do you anticipate that, I mean, with this movement, what do you anticipate that a new Nigerian dream will be for the forthcoming generation? What should be the Nigerian dream going forward?
But I think for many generations, the Nigerian dream, even on the average level, has been for Nigerians to enjoy Nigeria in Nigeria. Many of us who are out of the country, we did so for very strategic reasons. One, to continue education. One, to access a level of privilege that having an education abroad offers you, or having an exposure abroad offers you, basically, right? So now, at this time, when we say we are leaders of right now and not leaders of tomorrow, it means that we are also in line with the fact that every government across the world is trying to act with a sort of flat leadership. We have seen the way young people organize over the internet, making sure that funds are donated to support for protesters. We see the accountability that the feminist coalition that is in charge of receiving funds and disbursing funds for protesters across the country. We've seen the accountability they have displayed. So when we're talking about young people leading, we're talking about them leading in practical terms in every strata of government. And we're not talking about them leading as puppets of the older generation. We're not talking about them leading as stooges, just carrying out orders for the older corrupt generation. Not everybody in the older generation is corrupt, but we have a vast majority, and all of them are in government leading things. So when we're talking about young people leading, young people bringing leadership for today, we are seeing even an example just from organizing online. And look at how Nigerian youth have already woken up everybody across the world. We are inspired by the people who are home to do this kind of protest today. And I don't think there's anything that really says how ready we are to lead our country to a place where we are all proud of. And that's the Nigerian dream. The Nigerian dream is to be proud of Nigeria at home and outside of the country, and to live in Nigeria well. The real life that everybody's looking for is not to come and struggle abroad. It's not to come and live abroad. The real life is to be global citizens of the world and live in Nigeria in peace and in progress and in unity, basically.
Thank you very much, Jolade. I really, really appreciate talking with